Okay, welcome to the 90-day reset. And before we start, you might want to grab a piece of paper and something to write with because you might want to take notes. I am Claire Yarrington, and I'm the host for tonight's workshop. And because it's always more fun with friends, I have a few friends who have joined me, and we're going to go ahead and talk and launch in by talking about Henry Ford. Oh, there's Alina. Hi, Alina. So Henry Ford was one of the most successful American businessmen and built a huge company. And people used to ask him, how is it that you've gotten into so many different fields and been successful? How do you know all that? And he used to say, well, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know where to find the answers. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do tonight with the 90-day reset. So I am going to go ahead and get started by first asking you to consider a couple of questions. First of all, why does wellness matter to you, or does it matter to you? And have you tried a variety of things to help your health and wellness? I know that we in our house have what we call a supplement graveyard before doTERRA, and even during the journey, at times we would try a supplement or try something new to address a problem. If it didn't work, it went in the graveyard. So if you've tried a lot of things, this might answer some questions about how we get essential foundational wellness. So modern life, just by living, creates both deficiencies and toxic overload. There's a lot of ways we might feel that. And you might actually want to put on your paper any effects that you have from what you know might be deficient in your diet or lifestyle, and any kind of toxic overload that you're exposed to. We all know that our body needs daily support to function well. And the other thing that you can put on your paper are any specific conditions that you'd like to improve. So I want you to notice these two triangles. And the widest part of the triangle is where the approach focuses its attention. On the left is a modern approach. It's chasing symptoms while overlooking root causes, often treating with synthetic and manufactured solutions that can create even more symptoms. And while it may be a lucrative business model, it's not going to produce long-term wellness. On the right is your natural approach, and this is addressing messages from the body through nature's solution, like essential oils or supplements. And it's addressing the actual root needs of the body. There's a place for both approaches, but many of us have learned that there's great empowerment in being able to handle most of our issues in our own home. An example of that for me is I've dealt with some knee discomfort ever since I was a teenager. And for an acute knee flare-up, I have Deep Blue, I have frankincense, I have Deep Blue Rub, I have a variety of oil protocols that help my knee to calm down. But long-term, I've noticed that the supplementation has reduced an overall level of inflammation in my body and made the biggest difference of all. So feeling good really isn't meant to be temporary. And we've seen, all of us who've shared here have seen our lives change quite a bit. So I want tonight to just keep it simple and indicate that really there are only two things that ever go wrong. We either have too much of the wrong things or not enough of the right things. And the wrong things obviously are toxicity, and the not having enough is a deficiency. Too much of the wrong thing can look like an excessive exposure to toxins from cleaning and personal care products, from too much anxiety and stress, ultra-processed foods, or a variety of digestive complaints. And too little of the right thing might be a lack of adequate nutrition, too little sleep, water, or exercise, or a need for more loving relationships. If you know what your toxic threats or deficiencies are, take a minute and jot those down on your piece of paper. Trying to get away from toxic overload is one of the reasons why David and I moved to the country. We moved to a very rural area. But even here in our rural area, we are surrounded by fields that are sprayed with toxic chemicals. So why a reset works is that it actually is going to address those deficiencies and toxicity, and it flips the things that go wrong to more of the right things and less of the wrong. It's a simple and also a gentle approach of resetting daily habits to support your digestion, nutrition, and detox pathways. So these are the essentials your body must have to function optimally. And I'll have a link for the class handout that you can request if you'd like. The first one here is activate. B is build, C is cleanse, and then the final one is targeted solutions as needed to address your individual priorities. So here's a little bit more detail. These vital components, first, we need to activate digestion and the intestinal tract to keep gut moving. Water's essential, and many of us like to use doTERRA oils in our water, as well as the electrolytes, or help to refresh and make water easier to drink more of. We also need fiber, enzymes, and probiotics. They all ensure proper functioning in the gut, and everything that we consume must pass through the gut before it's converted into energy. Next, we have build components that supply the fuel that our body needs to run. So beyond macronutrients in our diet in the form of protein, carbs, and fats, we also need the micronutrients, and these are vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and amino acids. And the amino acids are actually the protein building blocks that make up everything we are, our hair, our skin, our nails, and every part of our body. And the micronutrients are one of the things that are most deficient in any kind of processed foods. So supplementation can help with that if we're eating processed foods. Next, we move to cleanse, which is where we move all bio waste and clear out all toxins. And these three bullets are representing chimneys that are like exhaust pipes. And the top chimney is the two that move the mass of solid and liquid waste. These secondary chimneys also move waste, and that includes the skin that moves fluid through perspiration and expresses toxins. All of these top four have an exit or orifice through which they're eliminating. And then next on the bottom are the internal chimneys, the liver, the cells, and the lymphatic system. They all move their waste through those two above, the external chimneys, for elimination. So what happens if the bigger ones become sluggish or backed up or stop working? Secondary chimneys can get overloaded, and signs of that overload may include a skin rash or a breakout or mystery respiratory illnesses that indicate a need for better waste removal. So while you're listening, if you're recognizing anything that you might want to target, this is a good time to put that on your paper. Because most people really aren't taught about these critical detox pathways, nor how to recognize when they're calling for extra support. Majority of people believe symptom management is the only way to go. But conventional solutions often suppress the elimination of the very toxins the body is trying to get rid of. That's like cutting the wire to the oil light in your car and thinking that will solve the problem. Proper detoxification is far more effective than resorting to chasing symptoms. And that takes us to that final column of targeted solutions. This is where we take stock of every aspect of our body's individual needs and our mind and heart's individual needs, which includes mental states and emotional states. doTERRA created a lifestyle assessment page that helps us identify where our body parts, our systems and organs and tissues may need direct care for better performance. And we'll have a link for that. So what is the 90-day reset? It's a 3-month foundational wellness program because it takes 90 days to create a new habit that's sustainable. And at the same time, it allows our bodies time to adapt and respond. It's built on simple daily habits, and that you can adapt this to your individual needs and concerns. And we'll talk a little bit about that in our discussion afterwards. It's a message that small steps can create big change, and you can choose flexibility using more supplements than the 5 that are mentioned or fewer. So, establishing a foundation of wellness is somewhat like a garden, and this program is designed to systemically first prepare and then cleanse and then renew your body's foundational systems with a 3-phase approach. In phase 1, we have a deliberate emphasis on energizing organ and cell performance so they function well when we get to the next phase, which is cleanse. If you've ever tried to do a cleanse without creating a preparatory stage, sometimes you get Herxheimer effects, which is where you actually feel far worse before you feel better. So in phase 2, we move to a cleanse where we've already prepared. And the objective here is to stimulate the detoxification processes and then elimination pathways of your body. It's dedicated to all those chimneys we saw in the previous slide and their capacity to do their jobs properly. So when we think about a garden, the first 2 phases are getting your garden ready for spring, clearing out dead plants and leaves, pulling weeds, and tilling the soil so new seeds and plants can grow well. And in the same way, you'll be preparing, tilling, and weeding the soil of your bioterrain in phases 1 and 2. And then your body is ready for phase 3, which is where we renew. And this phase is where we replenish, restore, and rebuild all body systems. It's like watering, fertilizing, and nurturing your cells, organs, and tissues. So imagine what a garden might produce if all that old dead stuff, weeds and hardened soil, were left untouched. If the same debris is left behind in your own body, the outlook is about the same. So here we see the full 90-day framework that establishes the wellness and to make it a habit. Each of the phases has a specific objective and ensures you're meeting the root needs of your bioterrain with those daily ABCs that we talked about. In the prepare phase, we're energizing cells and organs for better performance. And you'll see that there are 5 products recommended at the top of this page. The cleanse phase is eliminating bio-waste for which the body has earned a greater capacity in that phase 1. And you'll see that we add some additional products. And I'm not talking about those tonight because we'll do those on a future call. But final phrase, renew, is where we're nourishing and replenishing all those cells, organs, tissues, and systems. This is how your bioterrain is reset in 90 days to produce a garden of wellness and harvest your health. And there's something amazing that I've experienced and some others I know have too. When your body's foundational requirements are being met through proper nutrition and healthy elimination, many root causes just naturally resolve because their needs were finally met. And what most people find after completing months 1 and 2 is the number of priorities that are on your page and your health to-do list are greatly diminished. And the few that remain are easy to identify, and you can address them in month 3 with those targeted solutions. This instructional handout is also going to be available for download, so I'll put the link to that in our chat. Before you start your reset, it's a good idea to take a closer look at where you are. So on the right side here, you're going to see a slide that shows that lifestyle assessment. This is the tool that you can download and use to take your more detailed inventory than the one you'll have tonight and become more aware of what you want to address when it comes to your top health priorities. While doing the 90-day reset, It's recommended that every month you fill a new one out so you can stay up on both your progress and your priorities. So we've looked over the first 90 days. Now we're going to focus on month 1. And anytime you're ready. So it's not required that you start in January. If you want to wait, it's okay. And you can also invite others to join you. We have a group who are starting this month. And if you want to invite others, you can share this recording. All are welcome to participate in future calls and events. If your body needs more time to establish habits or to adjust to this routine, you can extend any one of these phases until your body feels strong and ready to go on. And the reset can be done as often as you feel the need, because all of these products support the body's natural system and are sustainable over a lifetime. So these are the products in month 1. Notice that each one is actually placed in its appropriate category of activate, build, and cleanse. And each one has a role to play in this phase's objective, which is to make sure your body gains strength and capacity to withstand and utilize phase 2. So the first product, we're going to move through a brief description of each of these products, and more information is available if you request it. This doTERRA PB Restore is the one that builds your gut and rebuilds your gut. It's like reseeding a lawn after winter. And it's a 4-in-1 formula that has prebiotics. They feed the good bacteria so they'll thrive in a new environment. Then probiotics that add more gut bacteria, 22 strains and 24 species. And then postbiotics. These are what are created by the first 2. And they increase the amount of vital nutrients and neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, the feel-good factor. Then finally, bacteriophages that clear out bad microbes. This combination in this one supplement offers both an offensive and a defensive approach to balancing the gut microbiome. Here's what we all need to know. If you're taking an antibiotic, it kills bad bacteria, but it also wipes out entire populations of good bacteria. And this leaves the gut and other biomes in a vulnerable state. It's like weeding your garden and then pulling out all the plants. This result makes invasion by unwanted bacteria much easier, since now there's a lack of good bacteria to protect, defend, and occupy the territory. This kind of annihilation of good and subsequent overpopulation of bad bacteria has become so common that now many people are resistant to antibiotics. And it's easy to see why restoring a healthy intestinal flora population and promoting colonization of good bacteria is so important in phase 1. When your gut is balanced, your body absorbs nutrients better, cells are protected, and you remain strong and resilient. Simply put, a healthier gut is a healthier you. Now, this is VMG Plus. It's a comprehensive approach to daily nutrition, refining the daily multivitamin, and it's a complete wellness formula. You can see on the slide containing vitamins, minerals, greens, and everything else. This whole food micronutrient-rich supplement meets a wide range of nutritional needs, and it has a combination of 90 science-backed ingredients. And because it actually tastes good, kids love it too, and it's the most convenient way to get nutrients and makes a multivitamin more likely to be an enjoyable habit. Now, some people are taking, I have been taking Lifelong Vitality, which is the doTERRA's original supplement in capsule form for the last 11 years. And this supplement, which is new, combines the benefits of that supplement and adds doTERRA greens into one delicious, easy to consume powder drink. But for the purposes of this reset, you can choose either one. So if you're using Lifelong Vitality, there's just a couple of things we tweak to continue on with the reset. Now, this is doTERRA's premium essential fatty acids. And there are some major differentiators from this product and any other that you'll find on the market. And the first is a premium sourcing. And what that means is that these essential fatty acids are coming from 100% wild caught fish from the most nutrient-rich, pristine waters known as the Nordic Sea. And the fish are sustainably harvested with traceability, and each undergo a thorough screening for heavy metals, microbial and bacterial contaminants, and oxidation, and more. So, in addition, there are no farm fishing practices, no growth hormones, and no antibiotics in these essential fatty acids. The second differentiator, and this is a fun experiment if you want to try it, is the addition of the essential oil wild orange to the essential fatty acid. And the result of that is that the fishy taste that's so common with most omega-3 supplements is completely removed. And I've even seen some people take these capsules and bite them and absorb them that way. And the final thing is it has a high limonene content, and that positively and powerfully impacts high cholesterol, energy, and inflammatory response. So it serves as a natural antioxidant and detoxifier. An interesting study showed heart rate averages went down by over 16% for those taking this supplement, and the bottom number of blood pressure, diastolic, went down by 6 points. This is MetaPower Mito 2 Max. And first of all, it activates and energizes the cells, which is the exact goal for phase 1. And then 2, it optimizes the function of your mitochondria that are basically functioning like engines in your cells, and they make energy. The components fuel the mitochondria so they produce more energy, and then they help the cells to actually create more mitochondria. So more mitochondria means more energy. And research suggests that this particular supplement will help to decrease fatigue, boost mental and metabolic performance, improve stamina, aerobic capacity, and your body's efficient use of oxygen, all without harmful stimulants. And because it supports metabolic adaptation, you're more present for anything, not just intense activity, but also relaxation. And a quick experience, personal experience. I was drinking for a while of caffeinated beverage in the morning, and it was pretty addictive because I felt like I needed that boost. When I started this supplement a couple months ago, I stopped taking caffeine and find that this gives me all the energy I need without the jitters. So finally, we've got this Revita Zen, a detoxification blend. And the process of detox is a nutrient-dependent process. Our bodies can't do what it was built to do without the nutrients it needs. And 24/7, we're waste-making machines. Mitochondria in the cells produce exhaust called free radical. In the liver, kidneys, skin, lymphatic, intestinal, and respiratory systems, all are producing a metabolic waste that has to be eliminated. And as a result, we just have to keep taking out the trash. Environmental toxins that we talked about earlier also add a huge toxic burden, and they plug up receptor sites in the cells and make it difficult for them to take in the nutrients that we're eating. So the process is twofold. First, the build products fuel the organs and cells with the nutrients, and then this product, Revita Zen, instructs organs and cells to prioritize detoxification. So we're going to talk quickly about, these are my personal results, and I want to share that I actually decided to, before we had this call, to do my own 30-day reset. And so I used these products, all of them, and these were the specific sample of benefits I had: more energy, better digestion, improved mental clarity, improved sleep, reduced inflammation, and better mood and stress management. So we're almost finished here. The steps to get started is to first order the doTERRA Prepare Bundle. And that's the 5 products are bundled together to save money. And for someone who's actually new to doTERRA, you can actually order this bundle and avoid a fee for having a membership, a wholesale membership. The next thing is to follow the monthly guide, and that's something that we'll put in the chat, a link to that. And then it's recommended that you track your results month by month, because consistency matters and daily habits create the long-term changes and benefits. We want to be sure we order the next month's products if we're going to continue with that the next month before they're needed, and then talk to whoever invited you to our class about how to get the best wholesale prices. So if you're ready to get started and it makes sense to you, these are your steps. And the most important thing I think that makes our community special is that we support each other along the way with our doTERRA journey. So it's important to get support, and we're going to be doing regular calls. So get connected with someone who can help you find us, and there's no pressure at all. Whatever you're ready to do, we'll welcome you into the next step.